Looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMO or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk-adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not at market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause that's the bottom line. The Stone Cold Simpson. Everybody dies.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Woo! Yes, What the rock is cooking. Now, welcome to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the only wrestling talk show here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome to Off the Mat. I am your host, as always, Mr. Josh Silverberg. We have half of our show tonight, 2/3. Lyle Gillen is out tonight. Not feeling well, under the weather, but that's okay. We'll miss him, but he will be back next week. But we have Mr. Alex Slows. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Josh. It's been an amazing week for wrestling again. We had the Blood and Guts pay-per-view, the free pay-per-view for AEW. We have a lot of different news to get into, including New Japan Pro Wrestling and also MLW. So I can't wait to talk about that. It's going to be a great show, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. And again, if you want to call us, 203-903-8271. That's 203-903-8271. We also have Carl Hulash, who will be joining us at the 9 o'clock hour. He is from the show, The Sports Hit List. He will be joining us at that time. He's going to give his intake on the WWE, NXT, Roman Reigns, everything like that. He was going to have a debate with Lyle, but Lyle is no longer here tonight, but that's okay. So pretty much, Carl will be on 9 o'clock. We'll get the two of them to debate it at some point, maybe next week or the week after, something like that. We will figure things out. But Carl will still be on with us at 9. A couple of things. How can you download our app? Well, it is quite simple, okay? Here's how you listen to us, and it is free, just so you all know. If you have an iPhone, you type in WWSRN in the Apple Store. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store. You type in Worldwide Sports. Click install. You get all of our show schedules, all of our show content, clips that you maybe want to hear again. Maybe you missed the show. You want to rewatch it or re-listen to it. If you're driving, you can listen to the audio feed as well. You can also play it on your smart speaker at home. You could tell Alexa to play. She's not plugged in, so I unplugged her, so I could say it. You could tell Alexa to play Worldwide. You could tell Alexa to play WWSRN, or I think it's Worldwide Sports. She'll play it right on your smart speaker. Again, all of that is free. You get all of our articles that all of us here write at the network. And all of the, like I said, if there's something you might have missed, something you want to re-listen to, rewatch, you can. You also can message us on Facebook as well under the Messenger. I will read those messages to you if you want to message us on there. And Alex, if you want to plug the website as well.
So we have a website for Off the Mat, and you can check out that website. It is available in our Twitter bio at Off the Mat WWSRN. That is our Twitter. You just click on the link in our bio. It's also in our Facebook profile on our Facebook page, and it will take you to the Off the Mat website where you can view the shows and pay-per-view schedule, which I put together. You can also check out our announced guest list for the June 15th anniversary show of Off the Mat, our 1 year anniversary.
Right at the network. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. And again, everybody can message us. You can talk to us on there and everything of that sort. But again, Lyle Gillen is, not here tonight. So that's okay. Look at it this way. I guess we'll be able to talk more and there won't be as many rumors. All right, Alex, now you're really faded. You look like a ghost now. There you go. It's looking a little better. There you go. Much better.
It was my light.
That's okay. That's all right. So much to get into. Again, we're going to have Carl on at 9 o'clock. A lot that we need to discuss. We're getting to some New Japan. We're going to get into MLW. We're going to get into all that. But we have to start with what transpired this past Wednesday. That was on AEW Blood and Guts. And what a great and epic match night
Absolutely.
that was.
Absolutely.
Alex, what were your thoughts when you got a hold of that match and you saw that match as an entire thing?
When I saw that match, I was thinking about the discussion we had last week, and I predicted this would happen. I said either they're going to pummel Chris Jericho at the end of the match, or a brawl is going to ensue right towards the end of this event. And Josh, it was a great matchup. I enjoyed every second of this matchup. Some fans were really upset about how this match ended, how the Blood and Guts main event ended. I thought it was good. I thought it was well planned out, very well executed. So the problem I see is these are like fans who don't understand the inside business and the behind the scenes stuff of wrestling. And like this is how they planned it out. This was how it was going to go. And when we saw, I think it was because of the padding below, because they put padding underneath the stage. So when Jericho went through, it was kind of obvious, but too obvious. So I can kind of understand why some fans were upset. But regardless, I did love the finish. I thought the main event was great. And MJF, my favorite part of the matchup, I got to say, Josh, was when Jake Hager and Wardlow came face to face, and that's Jake Hager's playground, man. MMA, all that, being in a cage, he's used to that. So getting to see Jake Hager use some of his MMA style and bring that into the wrestling world and into a main event fight such as this against Wardlow was great. And I liked how Wardlow was bouncing back. Wardlow was trying to compete with Jake Hager and try to put him on the mat, try to keep him down on the mat, but he couldn't do it.
I looked at it this way, and I knew this is the way they were going to go. And by the way, Carl messaged me. Carl goes, "Come on, Josh, you know you have rumors." I don't know if I have any tonight, Carl. I'm not as good as Adam Schefter's. I could tell you that. I could tell you that for sure. So what I thought about the match was it went as expected.
Yeah, it did.
I thought for a split second, I went and I watched it. And, there was a part, once they got to the top of the cage, I said to myself, okay, this is where it's going to happen. I know for a fact he's going to fall off the structure and everything. And by the way, to the fans, that, they say, oh, it's a concrete floor. Why doesn't it look like a concrete floor? Ladies and gentlemen, God forbid Chris Jericho actually fell on a concrete floor from that far, he'd be almost dead.
Yeah, he would be.
Because when Matt Hardy fell off the stage into the concrete, everybody had an uproar about it. AEW is reckless. This is terrible. I don't understand it. Now they don't do it, and everybody's in an uproar. You can't win. It's a simple fact of you can't win. You can't win people over, and it's so ridiculous to the point that when it comes to what AEW was trying to do, I thought they hit it perfectly. They got the million.
They knocked it out of the park.
They got the million viewership, which I thought was awesome. They were the number 1 rated TV show that night on Wednesday for the first time in its history since the inception of the company, which I thought was great. And you look at it this way, when it comes to building, what they did was, Jericho's going to take time off. We know this. The Inner Circle still doesn't look too weak. I mean, I go back to what I compared it to. Remember, it was the Horsemen versus the NWO segment where Mongo McMichael was handcuffed with Chris Benoit. Mongo said, I quit. We quit. Leave him alone. They quit. Ric Flair was still put in between the cage door and the structure. And Kurt Hennig decided to slam the door on Ric Flair's head. Anyway, Ric Flair was off TV for a while. And that was how they built up more of the NWO. That's the exact same way they did it. The Inner Circle was telling Jarrett, they were telling MJF, don't do it, we give up, it's over, it's done. And then they quit.
He threw him off anyway.
Didn't even matter, didn't make a difference. Nope. And therein lies how you build something. You're building a team that is supposed to be an unstoppable force. I think AEW hit it perfectly with this match.
Oh, yeah, they did.
It was they built a lot of good, but even mid-card guys, they built a lot of good stuff. With Guevara, they built up even more now in this match. Sammy Guevara killed it in this match.
Santana and Ortiz, they were spot on in that match. It's just amazing. They brought out the side of them they said they were going to bring out, and that it gave me that LAX feel from Impact, and we were seeing that in this matchup.
Absolutely, and I got that feel too. I got that vibe with the face paint and everything of that sort. It was kind of almost like gang related, which is what it was supposed to feel like, right? It was supposed to get that vibe of, okay, we're going to be that far. But then you also had the Pinnacle. I thought Shawn Spears had a nice match. I don't think he really threads the needle that much in regards to what they were trying to do with him personally. He's the only one. I mean, I thought FTR did great. I thought, I thought MJF officially he was already a superstar. I think he's slowly turning himself into a megastar in this company.
Yeah.
Wardlow was great. Jake Hager was really good. I thought the match flowed extremely well. And when you look at what AEW is trying to do is, they're trying to not just build the top-notch guys. They're trying to build the mid-card roster so then that way they could have a full show and have the pay-per-views go the way they go. In regards to where other companies are just trying to just build the main guys and they don't build the mid-card enough. And that's been a kind of a sluggish situation. I'm not saying any company specifically. I'm saying in general, that's how they go with this. But I thought MJF has officially turned himself into a megastar with this. I really believe that. This is going to be a huge turning point for him. I agree with Lyle's point. I think Hangman is going to get is going to be the one that ends Omega's reign eventually, probably at Full Gear in November-ish. Yeah.
Most
and
likely
then when you're going to see MJF. MJF is going to then eventually get to that point. I think MJF will be the heavyweight champion. I could see either Wardlow or Shawn Spears be the not the North American, the TV champion, the TNT champion. And then I think FTR gets the belts, the tag belts, and I think you make them an unstoppable force. And they just excuse me. I think Wardlow is the one they got to go with over Shawn Spears, and I like both of them very much. I just think Wardlow has a little more upside at this point in their careers. But then again, maybe they feel Shawn Spears is the guy that can hold the belt, and Wardlow could just be the muscle in the group. And there's always that way of doing it. Other than the match flowed really well.
Yeah, it went absolutely well. In another match, another thing I liked about AEW Dynamite, Blood and Guts, is how they were giving us a sneak peek into the matches that are going to happen on Wednesday. And I saw a promo with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and they were doing a promo, and then out of the back comes Darby Allin and attacks them from behind.
Yes.
He was holding his own for a little while, and then Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page eventually got the upper hand, outnumbered him, and threw him down a concrete stairwell. And I'm surprised that Darby can take so much damage like that. And I'm wondering if this is going to be a factor when he goes up against Miro.
I'm curious which way they go with this. Because I feel like it's too soon for Miro to lose a match, but I just don't see him winning the TNT Championship just yet. It's kind of weird because he hasn't had much of a singles run.
No, he hasn't.
Right? And that's the weird thing about this is he was a Kip Sabian for who knows how long, a couple months, which I've been saying for the last 2 months they need to get the two of them separated. I think Kip Sabian is highly overrated. Just my opinion. I don't think he moves the needle very much in regards to he's a talented guy, but his character sucks in my eyes. I think him and Penelope Ford are just very blah. That's just me.
They haven't really focused. They haven't really focused on giving Miro much of a singles run, and
now they will.
Now they're going to do that. Now they're going to build him up in a singles run, make him look good, make him look strong, and eventually he's going to get a title shot. But it's too early to call it right now. It's too early.
I think when you look at how what they're trying to do with Miro is going to be interesting because let's say he hypothetically does lose this match on tomorrow night, right, Alex? So he loses the match. So it's like, okay, he loses. Is he going to be pushed down the stairwell again into the mid-card section where he's just forgotten? Because let's be real here. I thought when Cody faced Lance Archer when the TNT Championship first came out, I was on this show, right? I believe we were. Did we do the show together? I believe we did.
Yeah,
we did. I said Archer should win because Cody doesn't need the belt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the character's already over. He's the president of AEW. What does he need it for? It's so silly. Archer needs it. He's a mid-card talent right now. Let's get him to the point where he needs to be more over. And Cody won it. Archer was pushed down for a very long time in this company. He became basically somebody they didn't use for months and months and months. And it just didn't make any sense to me which way they were going with him. And it was just like, now they got this is a little different now. And the reason why it's a little bit different is because when you look at how Darby Allin is so over right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, do you want to end that momentum of Darby? And the problem is, if you end the momentum of Darby, does it look kind of weird that Miro is now the TNT champion? Is it too soon? Is it too fast for him? This is such a complicated match. I think it's going to end in disqualification. That's what I think they're going to do. They're going to make Miro.
I think Kip's going to get involved, and it's going to.
No, I don't even think Kip's going to get involved. It's going to be they're going to make Miro look like $1 million, and then Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are going to get involved,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to beat up Darby. That's going to cause a disqualification, and then that's how he's going to win. Nah, I think that's generally the booking way of doing it. If you can't figure out which way to go on the result, I think that's the route they should take. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. What are your thoughts on my idea of that?
I think it'd be the smart decision to go the best route to go because like you said, if you take the TNT championship away from Darby, what's left for him to do? What where does he go? Does he go down to being a mid-carder? Do they put him in a tournament for the AEW World Title? I don't know. I just think
Darby will never be a mid-carder. That's the thing.
No,
he's too over.
Yeah, he's way
fans
too
won't
over.
allow that.
I'm just wondering what they would do with him. Like
They would have something.
How would they
He's not
present
gonna
him
lose.
after something like that?
No,
he's not going to lose the title.
He's not going to lose. It's going to be a disqualification. It's going to go that route. They're going to have it happen that way. The interesting thing I want to talk to you about, good sir, is you and I went a little bit back and forth on Twitter this past week. Haha, that never happens, right? Usually Alex and I always get along, but this time we did not agree on it. I said for Double or Nothing that Pac should be the easy decision win to face Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. You started with saying Orange Cassidy should be the one.
Mm-hmm.
I said you're on drugs. In the words of Errol Marks, I said you are on drugs. Okay. I said, do you really think? And by the way, Double or Nothing is having full capacity.
Oh,
I believe they're doing full capacity. If I'm mistaken, I believe if we can look that up afterwards, Alex, if you want to look that up while I'm speaking, just that you could just type in Double or Nothing full capacity on Google, and then if they are going full capacity, is that really the mat? Is Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega really, really, really going to get you excited about it? When you've seen Kenny Omega and Pac have unbelievable chemistry together. It is full capacity?
It is full capacity.
So that's what I'm saying. Is that really what you want to throw at the fans for the biggest pay-per-view of AEW's year? You want to have Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy. And I like Orange Cassidy. I do. He should not be wrestling at the biggest pay-per-view of the year for AEW in the first full capacitated crowd audience coming back to AEW on Double or Nothing. Pac is the better wrestler. They had an unbelievable match together at All Out when he had the fill in for Moxley. Pac to me is one of the most underrated talents in the world today. Orange Cassidy he's a cool character. He's a good wrestler. He's not on Pac's level of wrestling. He's not. And for those that think he is, well, again, I'm going to say it, you're on drugs, okay? So stay off the weed, okay? So stay off the weed. That's how I'm going to leave it at that. It's a breezy, no decision brainer. You've seen the Pac Omega match before. It was a hit match. Do it again. Biggest pay-per-view of the year. Those two have the most similar styles of any of the two in AEW in regards to Omega and Pac. Let it happen that way. I will let you now rebuttal, sir.
So, Josh, I have to disagree with you because the fans, they need to see something new. And as Excalibur would say, you got to give the people what they want. And I think this would be a great matchup in front of a full capacity crowd. Even though Pac is a good wrestler and he is skilled in the ring, I just think having Orange Cassidy in the fold and being able to compete against somebody who is well known in the wrestling business, has been all over the world, won multiple titles in Japan, I think this would be a great way for Orange Cassidy to make himself known, make his presence more known out there, and really put on a really great show of wrestling and mat work, because we've seen him put on great matches before, and he's really over with the crowd, and he plays this cool. He gets into the head of everybody, all of his opponents, even people backstage that he comes across during the show of AEW Dynamite. He gets into the head of them, and he's so good at doing it. And for example, Penta El Zero Miedo, him and Orange Cassidy had a match. He was tapping into the mind of Penta El Zero Meadow and messing with him. And Penta did not take too kindly to it. And it was a back and forth battle. It was a back and forth matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we would get with Orange Cassidy and Kenny Omega. It would be a very close matchup, and it would be exciting. It would be fast paced. And Orange Cassidy, he's been in the business for a while, but not as long as Pac. But I still think that Orange Cassidy needs to have a title shot. He needs to have a chance to make a first impression. And I think this would be the right direction to go.
I just, like I said, when I look at what they're trying to do, I know, Alex. You say Alex Excalibur says give the people what they want, but I don't want that.
You might not want it.
Lau doesn't want it either.
Maybe the fans want it.
Double or nothing. I mean, listen. I understand Orange is the bigger character because he's more of a fun character. He plays with the crowd more. He's funnier.
Yeah, he does. He's funnier.
He puts his hands in his pockets and he does crazy moves and he does these things. He's cool. He's a guy that I think does some edibles before he does matches. That's just my take on the whole thing. My thinking is, Pac to me is just the better. It would just flow better. Now, look, I think it's good. They're going to give it to Cassidy. I do. I think they are going to give it to him. How do I feel about? Listen, if AEW could turn it into a good match, fine. If they, I guess with a full crowd, Cassidy will be over more. We know who's going to win, right? Like, we know who's going to win the match. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know it's going to be Omega. Like, Omega's going to win the bout. We understand that. It's all about how the presentation is going to look. And to me, I just think Pac would be the better flow, the guy that has the more chemistry with him. That's just my take on it. We can disagree and agree all you want. But, Alex, you cannot sit here and tell me that will you be disappointed if Pac won the match?
Not at all. Not at all. I would still go for it either way. Orange Cassidy or Pac. I still want a great presentation. I still want a close battle, a never say die battle between either Kenny Omega and Orange Cassidy or Pac.
I'm just saying, no. I think when I look at it, I think it's got to easily. I just think it's a no-brainer. Like, you cannot sit here and tell me that when the fans, by the way, are coming back to full capacity, what do you think they would? I think Orange Cassidy in a mid-card match is fine, but for the heavyweight championship in the first biggest crowd since the pandemic, I mean, that would be just, in my opinion, a crazy scenario where you look at it this way. Kenny Omega, is going to win the match regardless. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. It's also about what they're going to build up. What else at Double or Nothing, which we're going to get into Double or Nothing and New Japan in a couple of minutes after the break. We're done. But, it's just a weird, I don't know. I think you have to go, like I said, I think it's an easy decision. I think you think the fans want Orange, but I think the fans would rather have Pac because of the Pac Omega chemistry together with the two of them. I mean, like I said, I think it's something that AEW seriously needs to think about a little bit more before they go through with this. They need to look at it more, and they need to figure out what decision is the best for them. So let's start before we go to breakouts. Go for it.
But I don't think Orange Cassidy has relatively had a championship matchup yet, and they need to give him a proper build-up. And when we saw the promo on Blood and Guts between Kenny Omega and Orange Cassidy, it really caught my attention. It really sucked me in and really pulled me in as a person who enjoys wrestling. And I think this would be a great decision for AEW, and it would be a smart move by Tony Khan, because not only are you allowing different people to have a chance at a championship, even new people who relatively have not had that chance, but you're building up the card more, and you're allowing people to have a shot, have that chance at something so big.
Well, we'll leave it at that, because when we come back from break, we have some more AEW discussion. We're going to talk. We need to get into what the Young Bucks are. Do we like where the Young Bucks direction is going? And Alex is going to give us a New Japan Pro Wrestling update. There is a story that came out about some postponements. We will get into that. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, Carl Coolidge is going to come on with us at 9 o'clock from the Sports Hit List. He's going to talk all things WWE with us. We're going to ask him questions, everything like that. Like I said, we were so excited about the debate between him and Lyle. And then Lyle he's unfortunately is feeling under the weather tonight, so he couldn't make it. But we're definitely going to say that for another day. And then we're going to get into our at 9:30. Don't forget, we're going to get to some Push Fire Job. We're going to have a little fun with that. We're going to get into our MLW updates, and then we will get into our finishing. And who knows? We'll see where the time takes us and where everything flows. But again, we'll be right back. This is Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques. Build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com, or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed. That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm going to keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times? When we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while. Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Rest in peace.
Welcome to the Shield of Justice.
I'm the boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Now, welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Slows, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second half hour of our first hour here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Off the Mat. I am joined by my co-host Alex Slows. Lyle Gillen is out tonight under the weather. And, of course, the great Speedy Petey, always producing the show, doing a great job as always. Thanks a lot, buddy. For sure, you're doing a kick-ass job as always. Let's get into it. So there's still more to get into before Carl comes on at 9 o'clock. Excuse me. We're going to get to New Japan in a little bit. And Alex is going to update us on what's going on in New Japan lately. I've been falling a little behind on it lately. But Alex will update me and everything like that and all the fans out there. But got to get into it first. I wanted to get into the Young Bucks with you and what you think of the character and all of that stuff. Do you like the direction of the Young Bucks being this way? Because in my opinion, I personally see the Young Bucks as eventually swerving and turning on the Good Brothers and Omega and then having a match with the Good Brothers for the tag team titles. I don't know when it's going to be. It could be at All Out. What are your thoughts on how the character has been so far? Because they're so heelish. This is what their natural character was in New Japan and stuff, and Ring of Honor.
Absolutely, and I love how they're acting, how their personas are as a tag team right now, and with Don Callis leading them and really putting them on that path and direction. I think it's great storytelling. You're adding new layers to the Young Bucks that we haven't seen before, a new side of the Young Bucks that's never been told before in AEW, and the fans are now getting this. And I think SCU and the Young Bucks, they have a lot of history together. They've had a ton of matches against each other and with each other, and I think it's going to be an amazing matchup. SCU and the Young Bucks definitely have great chemistry, and it's one that's not going to be for the faint-hearted, and I think the Young Bucks are going to look strong in the matchup SCU is going to have some type of control in the matchup for a little while, and then the Young Bucks are going to come back and retain their AEW World Tag Team titles. And when you look at the Young Bucks, they're just an amazing team. They've been all around the world together. They've wrestled in Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, you name it, multiple promotions. And I think they are one of the best tag teams out there next to your tag team, Josh. The Briscoes.
Oh, you like the Briscoes, huh? You're falling on that. Well, yeah, I tell you, the accolades that they have are endless. Listen, this is the natural Young Bucks. I think it's going to be a big swerve. I don't think they're going to stay with the course. I think eventually they're going to turn face again, and they're going to turn on Omega and the Good Brothers. That's just the way they're going to go. Really quick, by the way, I forgot to mention when we came back from the break, silly me and shame on me as well. Here's how you can listen to us every single week. It's very simple. All you have to do is download our app. You download our app by this. If you have an iPhone, you go to the Apple Store, you type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store, you type in Worldwide Sports. We're also on worldwidesportsradio.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope. Here's what you get with the app as well. What you get is our articles, show content, our schedules, any clips that you might like that you want to hear or listen again, maybe shows that you want to re-listen to. You miss something that you want to watch again. If you're driving, you can listen to the audio feed. It's that simple, so that way you're not watching the screen while driving, because, of course, that's really dangerous. Also, 203-903-8271 is the phone call to call us, 203-903-8271. You can also message us, on Facebook as well, and I will read your messages on the air if you don't feel like it. And also, Alex, if you want to promote the website, and also tell the fans how they can also email us any comments or anything like that before the show begins.
So you can go to our Off the Mat website, which is a Google website link. It is in our Twitter bio. It is also in our Facebook profile, our Off the Mat Facebook page. You click on that link, you're going to be taken to our Off the Mat website, where we have an archive of all of our recent episodes that we've done. There is an archive of all of the interviews we have done. You can see interviews with John Alba that we did, Alicia Toot from MLW, you name it. There's a whole archive of that available to you. And also we have a special announcement page and a show and pay-per-view page, to where you can check out the upcoming wrestling shows that are going to happen very soon.
Absolutely. And we work tirelessly here on Off the Mat and the whole Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We all pitch in and do our part, and it's really growing every single day. It really is, and it's only getting better. But we were sticking with the Young Bucks before. Now, Alex, I wanted to get this opinion on you. Eventually, do you see them swerving, like I said, on the Good Brothers and Omega and fighting the Good Brothers?
Absolutely. I think the Young Bucks, eventually, they are going to swerve on the Good Brothers and Kenny, but they're not going to make it obvious. No, they're going to take their time. They're going to lie in wait. And then when Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers are not paying attention and they become vulnerable, that's when they're going to strike.
I look at it this way. The Young Bucks are trying – it's a story, right? It's a long story. This is what AEW does. They don't just jump the gun and do it right away. They do a nice – NXT will do it sometimes too, where they will sometimes they like to drag the story along, which is great. I think it's awesome.
Awesome idea.
When you look at think of the Hangman Kenny Omega storyline, right? Being a former tag team and stuff like that. I mean, it's a long, long, prosperous story where now Hangman's is in the Dark Order. Kenny has his own faction with the Elite again. and stuff like that. And it's interesting when you think about it that way, because it is crazy how long ago the that Omega and Hangman were just the tag team champions. What was it, about a year ago or so? It was on the Jericho Cruise. They won it against SCU, something like that. And, I picture it and I look at it this way. If this is the route that I think that AEW and I think they should go, having the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks at All Out, right? It's All Out, right? Not All In?
I think it's All Out, yeah.
Okay, I can't ever remember. I always get thrown off by that All Out. Then you can have that match happen depending on. Now, look, we've heard the reports that we see that AEW is going to possibly be touring again in, I believe, July. I saw it, Florida, Miami, Florida. They have a show set, and in Texas too.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 2 shows lined up in Texas, which I think is awesome. I look at it that way. I look at it as well as this is going to be a huge thing, because now you're going to have live crowds back. There's certain types of matches you want to save for the full audience. You know what I'm saying? Not just the 800, 900 fans at Daly's Place. You want to have it for the full arena, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 fans. Yep. If you can do it, there's certain rivalries. There's certain, we didn't get FTR versus the Young Bucks.
Mm-mm.
In front of a huge live crowd. We got in front of a couple hundred, but it wasn't in front of a live crowd.
No.
I mean, it was a live crowd. You know what I mean, Alex? It was a live crowd,
yeah,
but it was a full-blown
absolutely.
audience. Yeah, it was half filled. Not even half filled. It was not even barely a quarter filled. The thing of it is that when AEW, there's certain matches they want to wait for things to happen, things to explode, because they know what the fan reaction is going to be. And the thing of it is that the fan reaction is going to add to the element of how well the match goes, because the fans are going to get so hooked and in tune with the cheering and the booing and then this and that. It's going to get the wrestlers motivated. It's going to get them excited. It's going to get them to the point where, it's going to bring out the best in people. So, to me, I think there's certain matches they're going to wait for, which is the right call, I think. We'll see going forward how they go about this. Is there anything on AEW, Alex, that we missed that you want to discuss a little bit more?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this Wednesday's match. Yuji Nagata versus Jon Moxley for the IWGP US title. This is a match that I've been waiting for a long time, because I've been watching New Japan for 2 years, and this is a big dream match for me, because in my mind, eventually I knew this match was going to happen, but now we're getting it. Now we're going to see Blue Justice, Yuji Nagata, against the unscripted violence, Jon Moxley, and it's going to be a hard-hitting battle between these two. It's not going to be it's going to be a war. It's going to be a fight, and it's a great decision by AEW and a great decision by New Japan, which ultimately leads to the Forbidden Door.
I mean, you look at it this way, right? They've already had Kenta versus Moxley. So now you're going to have Nagata versus Moxley. Clearly, what New Japan is going to do is eventually, I think they're going to expand on this partnership. And I know we discussed I know we discussed this when, like I said, we discussed to the point where, we honestly didn't think this would ever happen, correct?
No.
Right? This would ever. Now you got Impact, AEW, New Japan, all working together. So really quick, Alex, what we're gonna do is we'll get to some New Japan, then we'll take a little break after, and we'll get to Carl when we come back from the break. So if you want to get to some New Japan quick.
Yes. So I was reading this the other day, and I shared this off the air with Lyle and Josh. On Friday, May 7th, the Japanese government announced an extension to state of emergency. As you know, in Japan and Tokyo, they are in a lockdown from COVID-19. in the infection rate and the status in order to prevent any potential further spread. And New Japan has arrived at the decision to postpone Wrestle Grand Slam and the events in Yokohama Stadium and the Tokyo Dome that were scheduled for May 15th and May 29th. What do you think about this, Josh? Did you see this coming? Was this in the back of your mind that you kind of had an idea that New Japan was going to have to cancel their events?
No, I didn't. I thought everything was going smooth sailing over in Japan, and I thought everything was status quo. This also makes me think that Wrestle Dynasty is not going to happen because they're not going to take the chance of sending all their entire roster over to the U.S. right now. I think next year is when it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite surprised that they did go this route. Disappointed, for sure.
Yeah, it is disappointing. Because I was looking forward to it. I was looking to seeing Okada and Will Ospreay go at it for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. That was a match I was really looking forward to, and I was looking forward to seeing Dangerous Tekkers take on GOD. And I was ready. I was pumped. I was excited for these events, and now we're just gonna have to wait. And I also found out the other day that 14 people of New Japan staff and performers are positive with COVID-19. So as a result of PCR testing, this is the article from New Japan on their website, 2 wrestlers who presented with fever on the day of May 4th event were immediately tested in accordance with COVID protocols, with tests returning positive. In light of this,
and obviously they're not going to, not to cut you off, Alex, but obviously they're not going to release the names because of patient.
No, they're not.
They would never release the names; it's illegal. But go on.
In light of this news, all those who had contact with the infected parties, in addition to every wrestler on the roster, received PCR tests, with a further 7 wrestlers testing positive. So this is not looking good for New Japan. This is looking really bad. I don't know what the future holds.
I'm just surprised. I really am surprised.
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded. I'm absolutely shocked because I didn't think this was going to happen. I felt like New Japan had good control over this, and we're really watching who they allowed into the venues, the stadiums, all the safety guidelines and protocols. And it's something every wrestling promotion needs to be careful with. Even larger promotions and smaller promotions, they need to watch who they allow into the event because anybody could have it, and then it's going to spread. And then you have this problem where you have to cancel events, and events everybody was looking forward to. People that are paid really good money to see these series of events, and now you have to cancel them.
It's weird because, like I said, I thought everything in Japan was good. I'm just trying to figure out what could have went wrong because it really seemed like everything was going well. They really spread everybody out in the events. They didn't go near anybody. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what it is that happened. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to...
It could have been unnecessary movement from outside. They could have allowed...
What do you mean by that unnecessary movement? Do you mean like...
backstage and where everyone is backstage and people being crowded together and people coming through where they're not supposed to be, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. I mean, I just think it's interesting, that's for sure. I mean, I think it's something that when you look at the whole entire thing, I mean, this is going to set them back now, too.
Yeah, it is.
This is going to really set them back to the point where it is now. Oh, man.
It's a shame,
because it seemed like they were getting everything together. So when is the next event do you think that's going to happen then?
They said, well, the article on the website says that they will update people when for further information when Wrestle Grand Slam and other events on the New Japan schedule going forward are rescheduled to later dates?
I don't know. It just seems.
I don't think these events are going to happen.
No, I don't think that anything's going to happen for a while now.
No.
I mean, I'm thinking the next 2 months. I'm thinking August. They get back up and running again in August again. This is what I think. Because I mean, if you're what you read was true and that people are infected, and everything like that.
Well, Japan's in a state of emergency. They're in a lockdown, for crying out loud. They're in like a really bad lockdown.
Well, we'll leave it at that because we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Carl Coolage. He's going to come on from the Sports Hit List. He's going to talk to us all about the WWE, all about NXT. What are his thoughts on Roman Reigns as the head of the table? I know how he thinks. Wait till you hear how he thinks for those that have never heard of his opinion. We'll be right back here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Off the Mat.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offer securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity, and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This is the worst town I've ever been in. No!
The champ is here. Now welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Slows, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I know we're a little early, and if we end a little early tonight, it's okay. It's okay. We went on for like 15 minutes last week, so I mean, it's all right if that happens. Welcome back to Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Really quick, here's how you download the app for the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. What you do is if you have an iPhone, you type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store, you type in Worldwide Sports. And again, the iPhone, you go to the Apple Store. Here's what you do. You download our app. It's all free. Articles, show content, show schedules. If you miss something, if you love the sports hit list, right, Carl? If you love the sports hit list, there you go. You want to rewatch clips of Carl saying things about Roman Reigns, baby. You want to download it? Well, you got to download the app because it's free, all right? We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Periscope. We are on every single social media platform. You name it, we got it. Check us out, worldwidesportsradio.com. Well, he's back. It's been a long time, but he's here. He was ready for a debate. The other half of the debate went down.
Yeah.
Schedule that part of the debate.
Please, let's do it.
Hey, man, listen, I'll try to debate with you, but the problem is I'm probably going to agree with a lot you say. So that's the thing.
I wonder how Alex feels about that.
No, man, I'm curious. We're going to – he's sneaky under the rug like that. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, he's from the show, The Sports Hit List. He's on other shows on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Carl Coolidge. How you doing, man?
Great, man. Thanks for having me. First and foremost, it's a pleasure to talk some wrestling. As you know, pro wrestling is I like to say pro wrestling is tied with NBA of my loves. If I had to pick one, if you put a gun to my head to pick one, I probably couldn't choose. I'd be dead because I love them both as equal. So it's really hard. Yeah, I'm honest. And it's mostly, I guess, it's tough because I guess I don't consider myself a pro wrestling fan. I'm also consider myself a WWE fan, WWE loyalist. I do tap into some of the other pro wrestling programs, but WWE's in my blood. So again, guys, thank you so much. And you guys are doing great work on the network.
Hey, man, thanks again. We appreciate it. It's always your show as yo, man, with the Sports Hit List and the B Show and everything like that. It's all doing really well for the network for sure. And, of course, there's so many other shows that you have that's, of course, because of you that has happened on this network. So without you, a lot of these shows don't happen. So we appreciate you as always. And we wanted to get you on. It was so crazy because I'm reading the group me messages and I'm seeing – you and Lyle are talking. And then also Errol just says, well, you said it first, Carl. You said, why don't I come on off the mat? We could discuss this. And then Errol was like, yeah. Let's go on. Let's do it then. Let's do it. Let's get a debate. And you know how Errol is. He likes friendly competition. That's what it is. It's all about friendly competition.
Absolutely. For sure. I mean, listen, there's no bad blood. I debate. It's like blood sport. And then I shake your hand and we have a drink after. It is what it is.
That's what I love.
Yeah, for sure. I hope Lyle feels better. I'd really like to have the conversation because when we were just talking, I don't know who started it off, but he just said something and he was like, oh, Roman Reigns is just average or he's not that great. And I was just like, what are you talking about? And it kind of set me off. And it doesn't take much to set me off. So that's why I'm here. And I'm here to make my case for the tribal chief. We show up and we win. So it is what it is.
Love it. And I got to tell you, I love the new theme song that he has. I do. I think I dig it. I love it personally because I think it's just, we had to get rid of that Shield kind of feel, right?
We had to open the next chapter.
Yeah, I think that was the last piece of the Shield just gone. Like that was the only thing left associated with the Shield. Clearly, when Dean left for AEW, and Seth is he went on to his new gimmick of what he went on to, and then Roman. But I think that was the last piece. Do I love it? I wouldn't say I love it, but it's different. But I think it was needed. It was much needed.
Yeah,
I like the beginning of it with like the opera singing and stuff. I liked like the concerto singing and all that. Like I like that, and then it gets into like kind of like a rappy feel. You know what I mean? Like I'm the boss, I'm the man. Watch out, I'm coming. This is my place. You say this is my yard, but now he's the head of the table, right? So it's a different view. It's still when you see it, my yard, head of the table. You see it. It's just different words, but he's still basically saying, I'm in charge. This is my place. This is my ring.
Yeah.
In regards to Roman Reigns, I know you love Roman. I have a lot of respect for Roman. I do. Alex could get his thoughts after on Roman. Damn, I really wish Lyle was here.
Listen, like I said, just let me know when he's here and we'll do a part 2 because I would really love to hear his perspective on it.
We'll find another date to do this for sure because I have to get you two, and what I have to do is just stand back and let you two just go, and then like you said, have a drink afterwards, have some respect, little cheers, and go for it, man. But my question to you is, what is it about Roman Reigns, Carl, that basically you say is beyond? He's more than average. He's a special character in the wrestling business, not just inside the ring, but as a character as a whole. His mic work, the way his promos go, the way his entrance music is, the way his costumes look now, where there's no more Shield stuff. It's just looking Samoan a little bit. What is it about him that stands out, do you think, that people aren't getting? Like somebody like Lyle that maybe is missing something.
Well, I will say this. If we're talking Roman Reigns now, I love this version of Roman Reigns. I love the version of Roman Reigns in the Shield. That time period where he was solo. I believe the Shield broke up in 2014. So from about 2014 to about 2020, he was like, it was kind of on the, it wasn't really working for me. I mean, his promos, I remember one bad promo he had with Sheamus where he called him the tater tot and doing all that. It wasn't really working. I've always thought he was a great wrestler. I love the whole who and, you know, his wrestling abilities. Clearly the spear is one of the most overused moves in WWE, but Roman had a way of executing it. He had some great matches. He had a great feud with Braun Strowman. I thought from my issue with early Roman was his promo skills, like were just bad to me. Like he couldn't cut a promo, and it was just like, it was terrible to watch. It was cringeworthy watching him try to cut a promo, and you can tell that he was struggling. And then you had Vince basically, you know, force feed us. I remember when he won his first championship, I think it was in Pennsylvania, it was in Philly, where Vince basically had to come in to save this, like blatantly Roman was being forced down our throats. And I thought it was a little bit too much. This version of Roman is different because we needed him to go heel. It's that whole, you know, Cena was supposed to go heel and he never did. And we always regret it. And we ask ourselves, what would Cena be if he went heel, you know? Even though I hate using the word "if" in sports or in anything, but I'm happy that they decided to do it with Roman. And he's owned that he is the head of the table and using the tribal chief angle, which is why I don't understand Law's perspective. Right out the gate, he feuds with his own cousin, the bloodline. Like, how can you not enjoy that whole story about?
I agree with you on that. I like that story.
Like that was an actual storyline, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one thing WWE has been lacking over God knows since when we had a decent storyline, and they had a decent feud where they had 2 solid matches, which led to finally Jay deciding to join the family. Then you had his father and his uncle, the Wild Samoans, come out and honor him and pass the torch. You know, so how can you not? And then you add Paul Heyman as now he's a Heyman guy. He's a Heyman guy. You know, I think that's what they needed.
Carl, that did it. That was the part where I
absolutely
said,
how
seriously,
yeah. How can you? And then you can clearly tell his promos are definitely better. His promos and the way he's going about the whole persona, and he's owning being the tribal chief, the head of the table. How can you not love it? I'm sorry. Roman's the best thing on SmackDown. I believe he's the best thing in the company right now, especially during this no fan COVID era of not having any fans. It'd be great to see him with fans, but just the fact that you can see him, even the backstage promos, him just sitting there, his championship behind him, Paul Heyman coming whispering in his ear. Again, those are just perfectly executed to show that he is in charge. He is in charge of the SmackDown brand. So how can you not like that? I don't get it.
Really quick before Alex asked something, because I have something in my head that I want to ask you. In regards to what Jey Uso is, you brought it up, him and Jay had a feud. Now you're seeing Jimmy back into the picture. Where do you think that goes? Does Jimmy fall back in line? Does he fall in line? Or is this going to be another feud now after the Cesaro stuff? Which, by the way, Cesaro's earned a championship opportunity. I think I said on our WrestleMania post show that we did, it was the name I brought up was Cesaro. I think he's going to be one of the guys next in line. Do you see Jimmy falling in line, or do you see this being a feud for the summer?
I'm not sure. I think Cesaro got his championship opportunity a little too early. I thought Cesaro would have been the one to win the Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite, even though they've been downplaying it and they've been trashing it the last few years. Last year was an abysmal with Otis, and then The Miz getting it to be a transitional champ for Bobby Lashley. Before I answer that, I just wanted to remind the fans out there that we are going to be starting to do pre and post games. So you guys are always invited if you guys want to jump on for pay-per-views because it worked well with WrestleMania. And I said to the Hitless contributors, I said, do you think this would work for every pay-per-view? Granted, Mania is Mania, but they said, you know what, let's give it a shot. So we got the green light. Special shout out to Errol and Speedy. So there's no shows on Sundays. So now for every pay-per-view, we're going to do a pre-show at 6 o'clock, and then we're going to come on immediately after to review it. So you guys are always welcome to come down and have a conversation.
We'll be there for sure. We should be there for most of them. That's for sure. I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Alex and I will be Lyle.
Yeah, and you know what? We have a lot of in our hit list contributors. We have some AEW fans too. So I don't know if you guys see. I don't know if you see. We have AEW Injection every Thursday morning. I post it to the hit list page. I share it too. We have Nick Maldonado and Zach Droll, who basically review AEW show every single Wednesday. It's a tape segment that you could basically catch up on your AEW knowledge. So as far as Jimmy's concerned, I like it. And I'm like, Jimmy, and the fact that Jimmy said, he's like, you know, I don't have to listen to you. I'm not your. Am I allowed to curse on your show? I don't know. Am I allowed to say he's like,
we've had enough.
I'll pay the fine. I'll pay the fine later. I'll tell Errol I'll pay the fine later. Listen, he said, I'm not your bitch. You know, he said it. And I was like, wow, okay. Jimmy wasn't falling in line because I'm like, it's kind of weird. And then Jimmy's torn, and that's great storytelling.
It definitely is.
Listen, when you put in a family dynamic, when you're talking about family, that's relatable to the audience. He's torn between his cousin and his brother. That's how can you not relate to that? You know, and how many times have we fought with our cousins and our brothers? So right now, Jimmy's at the point where he's thinking to himself, I love my bro. Like, I can't let my brother be acting like a sucker, you know, but then he has to think about, you know, he has to help his brother when his brother messes up. And he gets himself in situations. Or is he going to fall in line? I don't know, but I definitely like the way they're teasing it. I'm not sure. I think if I were going to write it, right, I would have Jimmy versus Jay. We've never seen that. So, you know, no, we haven't seen them because they've been arguably one of the greatest tag teams of this reality or new era. We've never seen them go face to face. I think it'd be a great match. Jimmy versus Jay. You know, it'd make for awesome, and Roman in the middle of the mix, you know. And the one thing I want to say that people may not realize, Seth is in that mix a little bit too.
Yeah,
you know,
he is.
You know, you got Seth and Jimmy and Jay because Seth cut a promo with Roman backstage, like, you know, and he's like, if you don't handle it, I will. So it's kind of like Seth is kind of like tweening his way into the Roman aura. You know, I don't know how that's going to end up playing out, but as far as Jimmy and Jay is concerned, the way I see it, they should have them in a match. They should have Jimmy and Jay. Maybe that's leading to them having a match at SummerSlam, potentially, because they can't seem to get on the same page, but that's how I see it.
What you got, Alex?
So, Carl, what my question for you is, first, how do you compare this era of SmackDown that we have now, with Roman being the face of the new SmackDown, to 2014, 2015 SmackDown?
Who, refresh my memory because sometimes it slips. Who was the face of SmackDown in 14 and 15? Was this before they went over to SmackDown Live on Tuesdays, right?
Yes, this was before they went over.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was the face during that time. I can't even remember.
I think it might have been AJ Styles or Jericho. One of them.
Well, AJ came, I believe, in 16. I'm not mistaken. So it might have been somebody. Who else did you say it might have been?
Or Jericho. Or
Jericho. Yeah, possibly. I think it's incomparable because we don't have fans. And that's really hurting. And I'm still trying to understand what maybe you guys have some insight on it as to why. And we've seen in other sports they've had fans at like minimum capacity. Why is he reluctant? And AEW is coming back at full capacity soon. I believe for their show.
Yeah, for Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
For Double or Nothing, they'll be back. And then they're going on the sport.
All that.
I did read something on Instagram that WWE wants to have live crowds back before AEW does.
But they're not having it. And I would expect them, you have WrestleMania with fans, and then you go back to the Thunderdome. That's a big slap. Like, that's a big blow.
So the report, this is where Carl, not you, Carl, other Carl, who's a fan of the sports loudmouths, is going to trash you if he's still listening. There was something that did come out that today that said there is a report that right now WWE, one of the favorites to have SummerSlam this summer is Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Whoa.
So
I don't know, man. Listen, I may have to break the bank for that one. I don't know. Listen, I haven't been to a WWE event. Listen, the last WWE event I went to a house show. I took my my father-in-law to a house. He's never been to an event. Shout out to him. And he loves pro wrestling. And I took him, and it was at the Garden. It was when Andrade beat Rey Mysterio for the U.S. Championship. That was the last show I went to in 2019. I haven't been to a show since. I didn't go to WrestleMania, but I may have to go to that event. I don't know. If it's here and SummerSlam is here, I may have to break the bank for that one. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know because, like I said, I look at it this way. I'm trying to think. I was supposed to go to AEW Blood and Guts with Lyle. We had tickets to Prudential Center. And then, of course, we had John Alba on. Yeah, we had John Alba a few weeks ago. John Alba said if that event would have happened, that would have completely turned the tide for AEW.
Listen, I think they need to come back with fans at minimum capacity. I don't know if because Vince is probably just COVID nervous. But stadiums are taking proper protocols. They are testing people. They are taking temperatures at doors. Some are requiring that the people are vaccinated. Some places have rules and regulations. But he could, unless he just doesn't want to do minimum capacity, he wants to be at full capacity to get the best of it. But fans would come out. I think if they started a tour and they go to different arenas again, or unless they have a contract with Amway Center, I believe that's where they're doing Raw and SmackDown, the Thunderdome, where they can't get out of it just yet because they're there for a certain amount of time. Maybe they're waiting for that to come up, which is why they haven't done it yet. But I think to answer your original question, Alex, it's hard to compare because the fans aren't there. Like the fans, and I wish I just want to see the fans react to Roman on a weekly basis. And I think that's
I would love to see that. I like the new Roman Reigns. I like that we're seeing a new implement to him that we haven't seen before. I got to tell you, the one promo that I think Roman Reigns struggled with that in all of my years of watching wrestling was the John Cena Roman Reigns promo, and Kurt Angle was there. And this was on a live episode of Raw. And you can see that Roman was trying to get his words out and he got stuck. He got stuck like a deer in headlights. And he didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to present himself in a promo, and now we're seeing him. We've seen him improve massively since then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a figuring out. It's the same thing with The Rock. When The Rock first debuted, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember when The Rock debuted. He debuted at Survivor Series 1996 as Rocky Maivia, right? He sucked. He was terrible. It was terrible. It was awful, and the people were chanting "Rocky sucks" because he was so bad. Like again, it's that whole Vince trying to feed someone down our throats. Like he was trying to feed us Rocky Maivia, and then The Rock just embraced it. And what did he do? He went heel. He became The Rock. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with Stone Cold. Same thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, granted, Stone Cold when he first came, he was the ringmaster. He was already a heel with Ted DiBiase. And then for him,
$1 million corporation.
Yeah, right. So he was trying to figure out his character. And I don't know if you guys have been watching the biographies on A&E. They've been excellent. I have. I have a few of them DVR that I have to catch up on, but I did watch the Stone Cold one, and he said the story how he got the nickname Stone Cold. He was with his wife, and she was like, "Do you want the Stone Cold tea?" He got the name, and then he cut the promo at 1990. I believe it was 1996 King of the Ring.
96 King of the Ring after being Jake Roberts.
Jake Roberts, right. But then he went heel. So that's the move. Yeah. When you want to figure out your character, you go heel. It's the same thing with John Cena. John Cena was, happy-go-lucky, corny character. He said he got on a bus and he was developing, and he said, I think he asked Stephanie if he could start to rap. And that's how you got Basic Thugonomics. He went heel. Mm-hmm. So I think in the trajectory of history, sticking to tradition, when these guys go heel and they're figuring out their characters, heel is the right way to go.
Let me ask you this, Carl. I'm curious because I know you said we all wanted to see John Cena as a heel. Do you think it's kind of easier to have a transition of a character kind of like this when there's no fans there to basically give you any emotion? Because basically it's Vince saying, okay, Roman is popular as a face with the kids and the women and selling the T-shirts, to do it like the John Cena kind of thing, right? Right. Now you make him a heel. There's no fan reaction, so we don't care. We're gonna try this out and see where this goes. Do you think they could, if John Cena had to deal with something like this, do you think that's maybe when they would have pushed the envelope? Because there would have been nobody there to give you any sort of kind of reaction.
Listen, like I said, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I hate that word if. I don't know if you've seen me in the hitless streets. There's no if in sports, just facts. So I can't prove what would have happened with Cena had he been with no fans. But because I love you guys, I'm going to do my best to answer your question. I think Cena maybe we all wanted Cena to be. Cena was always a tweener, you know, because like I said, the guys hated him, the girls loved him, and the kids loved him. Could they have experimented with him now in this era? Possibly. It could be possible. But I think I want to see Roman with fans and see what the reaction he gets. Does he still get booed? You know, and I think he got booed after he won.
He got booed after he won at Mania. And that was what
after he beat the Undertaker.
Yeah, he got booed after he beat the Undertaker too. Yeah, because people are fan favorites of the Undertaker. You know, so I think, you know, true wrestling fans enjoy good heels. Like a good heel. A true wrestling fan will enjoy it. I think Cena, they probably would have tried to experiment because technically Roman is the Cena of today. There's really no transcendent star. Like I literally just had this presentation for my second master's class. And we had to make like a presentation about something that we wanted to change. And my presentation was on how to increase WWE ratings. And I literally said how WWE has no transcendent star. And I think the only transcendent superstar that they have right now is Roman. So
absolutely. By far.
If you put John Cena in that role, could he have been successful? I don't know. Maybe.
And that's the one thing that concerns me is there's not enough star power for the main roster. And when you bring people up from NXT, for example, the thing that scares me is what are they going to do to that character? Are they going to keep him the same way, or are they going to change their whole layout from NXT? That's the one thing that startles me the most, because I want these people from NXT who are coming up to be successful, you know?
Well, you know what? Here's what I say to that. I think it's a matter of figuring out. Okay, like WWE has a talent problem where it's too much talent, and I say this all the time. There's way too much talent between, you know, when you call somebody up, that means you're taking a spot from another person, you know, or they're booking. They don't do a great job of booking everyone the way they should. Like Raw is 3 hours. Could they maximize their talent and get everybody on the show? Possibly, but again, keep in mind, the more talent you call up, that means it's taken away from somebody else, right? I saw a meme that had, you know, that showed you how many older wrestlers that they still have. You have guys like Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Randy Orton, MVP, Bobby Lashley. The list goes on and on and on of stars that were relevant 10 years ago. The Miz, John Morrison,
Shelton Benjamin,
guys that were relevant 10 years ago who are still here now. So it's like, and they're not helping other people grow. They're taking up top slots, you know? So it's like, okay, you have Edge is another one, right? So you have a bunch of 40-year-olds who are past their primes. You would say they're in their late, I guess you want to say past their primes because everyone hits their primes at a different point. But I think that's the problem with NXT is that you're calling up people, but you're not retiring people who should be retired. You know, like, why is Rey Mysterio, which don't even get me started on that. Why is Rey Mysterio in a tag team with his kid? Like, why isn't this kid in the singles bout trying to get, you know, see what I'm saying? Why are they still having Miz and Morrison feud with Damian Priest?
You're not expanding, you're not growing.
No, because you're still having the same faces that you had 10 years ago. That's not helping anyone grow. And I think there have been some successful NXT stars. You know, you had your 4 horsewomen, you had your Kevin Owens, you had your Seth Rollins, you had your Sammy's kind of at that point where he's okay in the card. You've had some guys who have come over. One big mess up was Shinsuke. Shinsuke should have won the championship. That was a big flop. Guys like Rusev, who I love, Rusev Day was a big flop. So I think, again, the only way you're going to get those NXT stars to get those opportunities is a lot of these older guys got to step away. They really do because
that brings me into my next question real quick about Shinsuke Nakamura. And I honestly think he should go back to New Japan when his WWE contract expires. Because
it ain't expiring for a while, Alex. He just signed a brand new one.
I know, but when it does expire, because WWE is literally doing nothing with him, and like you said, they're calling up people or they're using other people and not allowing Shinsuke to have a spot, to have a chance, you know. And that's kind of disappointing to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Shinsuke had his peak when he fought AJ at WrestleMania. What was it? 30. You guys help me out here. I forget which WrestleMania, but he fought AJ when he won
past year.
He won. He won the Rumble. I believe it was 2018. He won the Rumble, and then he went on to main event. Yeah, so that match didn't live up to expectations.
No, it didn't.
I think Shinsuke hit his peak, unless you're going to give him another run. But again, you give Shinsuke a run now, who are you going to take that run away from? Cesaro is going to be taken away from Big E, which comes to a point of like, all right, someone's going to have to take away their point to give him his opportunity again, which he had a WrestleMania kind of main event. He already had it. He just didn't win it. You see what I'm saying? So like, again, I'm not against Shinsuke winning and going for another push.
Yeah.
But when you do that, somebody else has to come off the top.
Absolutely.
They need to redraft, Carl. They need to redraft. They do. I think I'm serious because I think honestly, I think when you look at the situation, I think Raw has too many
faces.
No, they have too many. No, they don't have enough. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think there's enough guys on the Raw roster. SmackDown has everybody.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Raw has talent. They're just misusing them. That's the problem. It's just they're not putting them in the right spot. Like I was watching, I started watching Raw, right? It takes me like a whole week to watch Raw, I'll be totally honest, unless I'm not doing anything because it's so long. So I watch Raw. I watch Raw in spurts. So it's like I'll wake up, I'll watch the first 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired of it now. Then I'll watch another half hour. Like I'm in the middle of it right now, right? So I'm at the Randy Orton, that terrible 8-man tag match, right? So what they do is this. Raw is like I could predict Raw. They start like, or sometimes they'll have like a 8-man tag just to get everybody on the card. A random 8-man tag match between RK Bro and New Day versus Elias and Almos and AJ Styles and I forget that other guy's name.
And now they add Jinder Mahal back into the mix, right?
Yeah,
Carl?
right. Yeah, to me, like, there's no story. There's no storylines. Like, like, are you grooming
Jeff Hardy, who went missing for 3 months?
Are you grooming RK Bro to get a tag team championship opportunity? Because that's what it looks like to me. You know, so it's like there's no story. It's just let's just put together what we can. Jinder Mahal is just going to magically appear with 2 random people out of nowhere, and then he's going to fight Jeff Hardy, and he's back for another run. Okay, then you're going to have a random 8-man tag, and then the women's match you had a random another. What is it, 6-man tag, 6-woman tag?
6-woman tag. Then you had Alexa at the front of the entranceway doing her thing
randomly. So yeah, like you could restructure. I think just putting them in the right spots. Like you could have great stories. Just continue build. Like the only real storyline going on right. Like I think it's only 2. Humberto Carrillo against Sheamus is a story because he's the underdog, and then you have the main event. And the other thing I think they're doing is they're overusing the triple threat. You got 2 triple threat matches on Sunday. Why? We saw one already at WrestleMania. I understand it's WrestleMania Backlash, but why are we seeing the overusage of triple threat matches now? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. And I think part of it is, I think part of it is the fact that there are no fans, and WWE is comfortable financially. So to me, it's showing that you don't care about your ratings. You don't care about your fans if you're putting out this product. And I understand post WrestleMania season sucks, but this is just bad.
Oh yeah, it's awful. And the ratings show it every week. The ratings drop continuously every week for Monday Night Raw. And it's so disappointing because I remember when Raw was at 4 million or 5 million a couple years ago, and now they're just sitting at 1 to 2 million views a week.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I did the presentation and I was literally looking up the numbers of the ratings. Back during the Monday Night Wars, Raw was averaging like 6 to 7 million people a week. Now it's came and scratched too. Why is that? Because Vince doesn't care about, like, again, there's no great storylines that are going to keep us interested. I'm still interested because my mentality is if I don't watch, I'm going to miss something good. So I always watch it. I always am fear like if I miss Monday Night Raw, I'm going to miss that oh my god moment. So and plus it keeps me entertained. But sometimes I'm just scratching my head like, why do I do this to myself? I'm that one fan that consistently watches but also bitches and complains about it.
I got a story to tell you guys real quick because my friend, he used to be a hardcore WWE fan. Me and him grew up watching WWE together. We grew up watching The Shield when they came in, the Wyatts when they came in. Who else? 3MB, which was not very good.
So you're about like 2012, 13-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my friend was such a big WWE fan, and what really knocked him off of the whole WWE product was just how Vince McMahon just keeps throwing keeps mixing people in, throwing people out there without telling a good story and keeping it entertaining and making things way too obvious. And my friend remembers, I think WrestleMania 33. Yeah, because we went to WrestleMania 33, me and him, in Orlando, and he saw something that just drove him away from wrestling, and that was, I think when was it? Yeah, when Undertaker. When you've seen the documentary from the Undertaker, when he said that his match, he felt like his match didn't live up to what he wanted it to be, how he wanted.
Was that
it.
with Roman?
Yeah, with Roman Reigns.
It didn't.
That match. My friend said he did not like that match. It was just terrible because it didn't meet his expectation in his mind.
No, it didn't.
And it just drove him away from the product, and it's sad because me and my friend, we were into this product together. We were into the main roster, and that's what really drove us away from it. Is Vince just not trying to put together interesting storylines that's going to keep people pulled in, tuned in every week, and that's what we're missing. That's what's happening.
No, I agree. I think again, there's really no set storylines. Like SmackDown had did they have like a 10-man tag too on SmackDown this past weekend? Where you had the Alpha Academy, Baron Corbin.
Yeah,
they had another eight-man tag. Like these 8-man tag matches, I don't understand them. Like those are cringeworthy. Why are we throwing together random? Oh, it was Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Alpha Academy versus I think it was Kevin Owens, Big E. Who else was on the other team? The Street Profits, and I'm missing somebody else. I'm missing one more person. Can't think of the person on top of my head. But when you throw those matches together, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't.
No, it's like throwing James Ellsworth in, like how they used to do that. They would throw him in every single week. And my friend for a while was like, okay, he was enjoying it because it was funny and it was comedic for a little bit, but then it was just the same old thing every week, the same old shtick, and he got tired of it and it's like, all right, let's move on. Let's get to something new.
Right. And I mean, you had the storyline between Big E and Apollo Crews, right? That was a good storyline. You thought Big E would have got his rematch. And then you kind of put Sami Zayn in that kind of mix, which I was like, okay, I'm with you on this one. But then you lost me with the 8-man tag, or the 10-man tag. To me, it doesn't make any sense. I think, like I said, the only thing really going for SmackDown now is Roman, and Seth is there too. Clearly, it looks like Rey Mysterio and his kid are going to get a tag team championship because they're fighting them on Sunday. So be the first father-son to win a tag team championship. I could totally see that happening. But yeah, it's just lack of story. Just lack of story. When you have a good story, like give us a good story. Like the Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman was a good story.
Yeah, that was a good story.
That was a good story. Like I said, Jay and Roman was a good story. So the Cesaro, I'm
the Triple H Seth Rollins feud was a good story.
That was a good. Yeah. I mean, Triple H is notorious for putting people over, so that was a good developing story. So I think if they could get us a good story, we can definitely work towards it. It'll be great. Like I love Bobby Lashley. I love Bobby Lashley, but is he really getting the justice and the process by the way they're booking him right now? I don't know. So it's like, all right, now this match is on Sunday. What's next for Money in the Bank coming up after? So it just leaves a bunch of question marks. And what's going to be your narrative heading into the summer, heading into SummerSlam?
Carl, my last question for you is, AEW Blood and Guts this past week reached a $1 million viewership. Something like that is pretty unprecedented, other than WWE today. It really rarely happens, and it was the #1 rated television show on Wednesday night. It was the first time in its company's history that's happened. And we had John Alba on a few weeks ago, and John Alba said that if they would have had the Blood and Guts match in Prudential Center a few months ago before the pandemic hit, this already would have been done, and they would have really turned. Not that WWE was going anywhere, but they would have turned the viewership tide around. I mean, you're now talking about them getting into the Raw, SmackDown viewership number with the million viewership. Is this something that WWE should be concerned about, that this is happening? I mean, especially something that they didn't think could be on their level is now getting a million viewership.
Listen, like I said, I just did the presentation on it, and the only way AEW would be a threat is if we have Monday Night Wars Part 2. They're not on the same night, and clearly NXT moved from Wednesday to Tuesday.
And they're not going to move. They're not going to move.
Right, right. So I don't think I started watching some of Jericho's podcast with Stone Cold. I didn't get a chance to see all of it, but I don't think AEW is really concerned about WWE and trying to compete with them. I think it's just a matter.
No,
I
don't either. I don't think. I think they were at one point, but now they're not.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to provide an alternative product for those who may not like WWE.
Yeah.
You can watch their stuff. I DVR AEW every single week. Sometimes I get to it. Sometimes I delete it. Sometimes I don't. You know, I think as far as young talent, I love MJF. I think he's great.
Yeah, he is.
His in-ring promos are great.
Oh, I think he has a chance, Carl, to be the best heel in this business.
Yeah, but I
really
don't
do.
think. Yeah, I don't think they can threaten WWE because WWE their branding is impeccable in terms of they're the number one revenue wise. Also, because they have the network. And again, I'm not just saying that. I'm just talking the facts. They have the network. They bring in the most money. The ratings WWE's ratings will continue to plummet. AEW's will rise, but they can't compete. That's not competition unless they're going head to head. Like if if AEW moved to Mondays or Fridays, then you're like, okay, that would be their next move if they really wanted to compete. Is they'd have to basically go head to head with WWE on one of their nights, and then that's when I think Vince would be scared shitless if that were to happen. But because AEW has put themselves on a Wednesday time block, there's no WWE on that day, so it really doesn't matter because people AEW would literally have to say, okay, Vince, we're going for you and try that. But I don't know if they'd want to do that because, again, they saw what happened with WCW, and now is, that's when Vince would be forced his hand.
Absolutely. And I have one more question. What do you think about WWE possibly doing a partnership with MLW? Because that was kind of in the question for a little bit, and there were some news about it last week going around on the internet. And MLW and WWE wants to partner with MLW to give some mid-card NXT people a chance to make themselves known on a different show.
Yeah, I think it's a good partnership as long as both parties they're both getting benefit out of it. Maybe WWE may be using some of their stars and vice versa. We've seen this earlier on. I think WWE did this before with ECW earlier on. They were getting some ECW talent back and forth. So I think it's a beneficial way to go as long as they're both succeeding from it. It's not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to hurt any brand. One thing I will say that I say to my Hitler guys all the time, I feel like social media ruins professional wrestling. I don't know how many times I have to say, I don't read the dirt sheets. I don't read the rumors. I like to go in blinded and read and try to watch the product for as is, because if I go in there and try to figure out if a guy's contract, it just ruins it for me. So I think, to help wrestling fans is try not to get too invested. Because when I watch wrestling during the Attitude and the Ruthless Aggression era, there was no Twitter. There was no Facebook. I wasn't going on to see what guys are doing. I just watched Raw and SmackDown, turned it off, and then turned it back on when it came time to watch it again. The most media I was getting, I had the WWE magazine. So I think, part of that defeats the product. But I think that company will definitely help WWE.
All right, Carl, before we let you go, tell the fans how they can reach you out on social media and all your shows and plug everything in that you need to plug in, my friend.
All right. It's going to take a while, but I'm going to try to get through it quickly. So,
go for it, man.
We got the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans live exclusively on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You can check it out on Wednesday. Tomorrow's show will be at 5 o'clock, not 4. My schedule's a little conflicting, but we definitely get a show on 4 or 5 o'clock. You can check us out there on Wednesday. We have my wife's show called The B Show. You can check out on Thursdays at 5 o'clock. We also have Smoke and Mirrors, presented by the Sports Hit List. You can check that out on Mondays and Fridays at 1 o'clock. The Falco Takeaway as well, Tuesdays, I believe, at 1 o'clock. And now we're going to start doing some pre-games, 2 p.m. Thank you, Speedy. 2 p.m. for Falco's show. And we're going to start doing some pre and post for pro wrestling pay-per-views. So you can check that out on Sundays. Anytime there's a pro wrestling pay-per-view, we're going to do our best to do a pre-show and a post-show. NBA playoffs are coming up. That means the Sports Hit List will also be doing some post-game live reactions to the NBA playoffs. Check that out. And just check out our YouTube, the Sports Hit List. Check out our Instagram, Sports HL, our Facebook page. We have a Facebook group. So, yeah, we're all over. Just Google the Sports Hit List on any of your social media platform sites, and you'll be able to find us.
Love it, Carl. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate it. Sorry, Lyle couldn't be here for you.
Listen, the invitation's open for Lyle to come. Listen, call me. Let me know when he's here. I'll pull up and we'll have that conversation. Because anyone who wants to disrespect Roman Reigns has to hear it from me. And I will tell you right now, he has to acknowledge Roman Reigns. Just acknowledge the tribal chief. Just acknowledge the head of the table, and his life will be better. That's it. We know what it is already.
Have your phone next to you. We're going to reach out to you in the next week or so, and we're going to get you guys together, and we're going to let this topic and discussion happen for sure, man.
Let me know, man, for sure. It was a pleasure, as always. You guys need anything, just let me know, and I'd love to have you guys on. Just let me know if you want to jump on before pay-per-view or after. We'll work it out to get you guys on.
Thanks a lot, Carl. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night, all right, dude?
All right, you too. You guys take care. I'll talk to you guys in the chat. All right.
Thanks, man. Be good.
Thanks, man.
Coolidge, ladies and gentlemen, from the Sports Hit List. Awesome guest to always have. Always a pleasure to have him on. We love it. And listen, he gave a lot of great insight. It's unfortunate Lyle couldn't be here for this debate, but that's okay. He's feeling under the weather. He will be back for it. Because I know he's got things to say. But Carl made some really good points.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. And the one thing that really got my attention the most from his discussion was with the discussion we had with him was that WWE, they need to have better storytelling. They need to come up with better ideas. They need just all around better ways productively and better booking for every Monday Night Raw and SmackDown show.
I agree with you. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play about 2 commercials here. We'll play 2 commercials. When we come back, we're going to get into Alex's MLW update. I don't know if we're going to have time for Push Fire Job this week, but that's okay. We'll get to our finishing move after that, and then we'll take it from there. Alex, you ready to do your MLW update after we're back from the break, man?
Absolutely.
I can't wait, man. We're gearing up. We're going to do some MLW. We'll do our finishing move, and we're going to call it a wrap on this episode of Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Keep a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
How you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Are you ready?
Now, welcome Alex Lowe. Josh Silver.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the last few minutes of Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, joining you every Tuesday from 8 to 10 p.m. We want to thank Carl Kulash from the Sports Hit List for joining us for the last couple of minutes earlier. Gave us a lot of good insight for sure. And, of course, shout out to Lyle Gillen. We miss him this week, but he will be back with us next week. Also, shout out to Speedy Petey. Always doing his thing, being the producer, man. We appreciate everything. And, of course, myself with Alex Slows. Here it is. How do you download our app to listen to all of our shows? It's quite simple. If you have an iPhone, you go to the Apple Store, you type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store. You type in Worldwide Sports. You get all of our show schedules, our content, our articles, anything you might have missed, a show you want to rewatch or re-listen to again. If you're driving, you can listen to the audio feed. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, you name it, we're on it, Twitter, and then, of course, worldwidesportsradio.com. Our app is free. It's that simple. All right, Alex, it's time for you to do MLW stuff, and then it's already going to be time to get to our finishing move, man. It's crazy. This show went...
Yeah, this show flew by.
Yes, it did.
Absolutely.
So let's get to our MLW stuff with some Fabu Andre. Did he wrestle this week, Fabu?
No, Fabu's on AEW. He's on AEW Dark. He's on...
oh, man. He's on AEW Dark. I thought he was on MLW.
But a match we did have that... This
you're going to upset me now. You're about to upset me.
This star was on AEW. Laredo Kid had a match against Gringo Loco, and I enjoyed this match. It was very well done. It was very well played out. Gringo Loco had some great Lucha Libre showing throughout the match against Laredo Kid. Laredo Kid was very, very good with the arm drags, the submissions, the holds, everything he was using, throwing at Gringo Loco and just wearing his opponent down. And eventually Laredo Kid won the match. And then we had a non-title match. Richard Holiday, the Caribbean champion, had a match against Ariel Dominguez, who I know from ACW, American Combat Wrestling, WWN, FIP, you name it, small promotions in the state of Florida. Ariel Dominguez, he had a match against Richard Holiday. It was a very short match. It was not a match I was expecting. I didn't expect this match to play out this way. I expected I wanted to see Ariel Dominguez go back and forth with Richard Holiday, but we did not get that. But hopefully one day we will. Eventually, one day soon we will. And then we had the MLW middleweight title match, Myron Reed versus Leo Rush 2.
Oh, this is going to upset me.
This match was 15 minutes and 56 seconds long. Leo Rush had most of this match throughout the whole bout. The whole way through, he had Myron Reed grounded. He had Myron Reed on the ropes. Myron Reed, he looked like he was done. He was out. He was gassed. It looked like Leo Rush had this match in the bag. But then Myron Reed, he hit his signature move, the 450 off the springboard 450 from the ropes, hit Leo Rush with that, and won the match. And he is now the MLW middleweight champion for the second time in MLW's history, and the first two-time MLW middleweight champion. I know Josh is a bit upset about that. I am too. It's not how I wanted the match to go, but at the same time, it a good performance. Both competitors gave everything they had in this match. They left it all in the ring, and it was something that I was looking forward to the whole week. And MLW nailed it. They were right on the money of it, and it was great.
Well, listen, I look at it this way. Leo Rush is going to get that championship back. That's a fact. He's growing immensely since he's left the WWE between MLW and New Japan and doing everything he's done. It's really crazy about all the good stuff that he's really.
But I do have one more MLW update.
Excuse me.
Selena Di Lorena confirms that she is done with MLW and she possibly might join WWE.
Alicia Tudor's having a party.
Oh, I bet she is. I know somewhere she is. There is a statement from her on her Instagram. My contract is up. Thank you, MLW World. I'll never forget where I came from. But where am I headed? Tag your favorite promotion. We're looking for gold. She has been retweeting fans' comments and posts wanting her to join WWE or AEW. Where do you think she might go, Josh? Where do you think is the best?
You know what? I could see her go. I could see her go to NXT and join Legado del Fantasma.
Oh, I would love that.
That's what I could see.
Oh, man.
I could see that happening. I think it would be interesting. If they want to turn Santana and Ortiz heel, she could become their manager. So, I mean, we could go that route. But I think Legado del Fantasma would be ideal. I think, we'll see. There's so many different options, openings, opportunities for her to go to.
Another thing, too, if she goes to AEW, she could be Death Triangle's manager.
Yeah, that's true. She could always do that as well. That would be interesting. And then, listen, like I said, we will see where that goes. But Alex, thank you for the awesome MLW update. We're going to end a little, like I said, one a little early tonight. That's okay. I think Alex and I want to relax. Alex said I had long days of work today. So we're going to go relax a little bit. But Alex, I will let you start with your finishing move first. What is your finishing move?
So my finishing move is about New Japan and the shocking news that I read earlier on the show. I think that New Japan, they have to find some way. So they need to be able to resume shows at some point, because that's just really it's heartbreaking to me, because I'm so into New Japan and their shows and everything that they do. And I was really looking forward to seeing Will Ospreay and Okada go at it in the Tokyo Dome. And it sucks. It really does. But that's where we're at right now with this pandemic.
My finishing move is, if you didn't see Dark Side of the Ring on Vice, if you didn't see the debut episode on Thursday, it was about Brian effing Pillman. Okay? Now, for those of you that don't know who Brian Pillman is, he was a former wrestler who passed away in 1997 from a heart condition. From why, we don't know. Some say drugs, who knows. He had a lot of personal demons in his life, a lot of issues. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals for a little bit. He went to WCW afterwards, after he joined Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling Company. If you haven't watched Dark Side of the Ring, go watch it. And if you want to see a famous promo, I know for a fact Alex has never seen this promo. It's Brian Pillman's promo in ECW. You ever seen it before?
No, but I've seen the one with Stone Cold.
No. When we're done, watch the one in ECW that he did. Watch it. That is promo 101. When you have the freedom to say and do whatever you want, that's how you take advantage of a situation. Brian Pillman threatened to take his Johnson out and piss all over the ring. Go watch it. You'll understand why it's important that I tell you that. And it sounds confusing now, but if you are a true wrestling fan, if you are a real wrestling fan, it is one of the greatest promos done in the. And I've watched a lot of promos. I've seen a lot of people talk. In my eyes, it is one of the top 5 greatest promos in wrestling history. It is that good. It is amazing. Go watch his reaction. Go watch how his eyes are in front of the camera. Go watch how threatening he is to Joey Styles. Now, this was after he had his accident in his Hummer when he went through the window in his Hummer, and he had to have plates in his face put in, and he had to have screws in his leg. He wasn't the same. But what he did was he was somebody that I know for a fact, and obviously who his son is. His son is Brian Pillman Jr., who's in AEW and was in MLW.
Varsity Blondes.
Yep. The Varsity Blondes, which, by the way, the group that Brian Pillman and, bet you didn't know this, Stone Cold Steve Austin, they were a tag team together. It was the Hollywood Blondes, Flying Brian Pillman and Stunning Steve Austin in WCW. And they were a tag team together. When Brian got fired by WCW, he went to ECW and he took advantage of a situation. And it was one of the... Alex, I'm telling you, if you're a true wrestling fan, go watch this promo after this show is over. Just go on your phone, go on your computer, go on YouTube, just type in Brian Pillman ECW. And it's the one that says 9 minutes and 59 seconds, not the 9 minutes 54 seconds. The one at 9:59 that gives you the whole promo. Go watch it. You will love it. You will enjoy it. It is an interest. Go watch Dark Side of the Ring. You need to watch it if you are a wrestling fan. It is an amazing, amazing series. This week they have Nicolas Cage coming on. Nicolas Cage is one of the sickest wrestlers on the planet. He did death matches galore, all over the place. That is on Thursday. I'm telling you, fans, if you're wrestling fans, go watch it. It's good stuff. But go watch the Brian Pillman documentary and go watch the Brian Pillman ECW promo. You will not be disappointed. It is amazing stuff. So that is it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Lyle Gunn, he fortunately feeling under the weather. He will be back with us next week. I will be on again tomorrow and Thursday on the Sports Loud Match with myself, Speedy Petey, and Errol Marks. We will be on from 9 to 11 tomorrow. And then 9 to 12 on Thursday. We will be talking all different things. We have Actually, on Thursday, we have one of the Met beat writers that is going to be joining us on Thursday at 10 o'clock. So that's going to be good. Justin Toscano, he's going to be joining us. Talk about the Mets. We'll talk, I'm sure, more NFL. We're going to get into NBA. We're going to get into MLB. We're going to get into NHL with the NBA and the NHL playoffs around the corner. So we're going to talk all about that. And, of course, don't forget the Weekend Crunch with myself, BDP, and Errol Marks on 103.9 every single Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. on the 103.9 FM LI News Radio Network on, I believe, radio.com as well. Or, again, you could always just, again, if the Islanders have a home game, we will be on after the Islander game. And, of course, check us out right here on Off the Mat, myself, Alex Lowe's, and Lyle Gillen, every Tuesday from 8 to 10 p.m. We're the only wrestling show. We want to thank Carl Coolidge from the Sports Hit List for joining us. We're excited for him to do his pre- and post pay-per-view shows for WWE. I think that's a great idea. I think it's awesome. And we'll definitely be making appearances for sure. For myself, for Speedy P, for Alex Lowe's, and Lyle Gillen, I'm Josh Silberg. Alex, watch the damn promo after this show is over. Do you understand me? Go watch it. You're not going to watch it. I know you're not.
I will.
You know you're not going to say, I'm too tired. That's what you're going to say. Watch it.
I watch it after my haircut tomorrow.
See what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen.
At least I'm going to watch it.
You see what I mean? You see what I deal with? I tell them to go watch it.
At least I'm going to.
No, you watch it after the show is over. You watch it tonight after your haircut. After my haircut. My haircut. I'm Josh Silberg, ladies and gentlemen. This is Off the Man, the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Thank you so much to the fans for listening in. Again, don't forget to download our app. If you have an iPhone, again, you go to the Apple Store, type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store, you type in Worldwide Sports. Also, worldwidesportsradio.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope. Alex, plug the website one more time for all the fans out there.
Off the Mat Google website. Look it up on our Twitter page at Off the Mat WWSRN. It is on our Facebook page as well. Same tag for our Facebook page. It'll take you directly to the website once you click on the link, and you get access to our show archive page, our contact page. You get access to our guest list for the June 15th anniversary show, our 1-year anniversary show. That's going to be fantastic, and you're going to want to tune in for that.
Awesome, Alex. So again, for myself, for Alex Lowe's, for Speedy Petey, I'm Josh Silverberg. Thank you so much for listening to Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Let's go Knicks tonight. Kenny Omega, what do you have to say? Good night, everybody. Listen to Kenny Omega right now. Kenny Omega right now.
I must bid you adieu, so say with me now if you know it. Goodbye, and good night.
Thank you for listening to Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, your source for all things wrestling and sports entertainment. It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Take a look under your bed.